What's going on, everybody? So I got a requested video to kind of define what would make me battle ready, basically. So I want to be able to solo attack a bunch of players around me and build up my kills and be formidable in my kill ranks. I want to solo attack. I want to join rallies and not get burnt while I'm in battle fury or off on a rally and have the remaining troops end up dying because somebody comes and attacks my castle. And so how do I be confidently able to stand on the Wonder, for example, unshielded? That kind of mentality of how do I get myself to that point? And so this is actually a real interesting video, interesting concept, thought, question. It's a good one, but there's not really a straightforward answer. And so the takeaway that I want to give you guys is, how do I get myself rally ready? And big part of that is understanding your kingdom. Your kingdom will decide. For example, I had 16 million troops and got zeroed in a kingdom where Sneaky Tashi, his guild, I think, is INI or something like that. And that guild, I don't know if he was part of the rally or not, but I definitely got zeroed by those guys. I slept without an anti-scout, and I let my bubble down, and they just moved to Kingdom 701 where this account originally began. And I woke up in less than a half hour worth of time right before I woke up. If I had woken up a half hour sooner, I literally would have caught the rally and blocked all this from happening. But I just, I passed out and forgot to shield and forgot to anti, and the kingdom was going crazy at the time. Sneaky Tashi and his gang had just moved there. You can see some of his videos, I believe, within 701 where he's doing some damage there, him and his crew. But it really kind of woke me up and realized, like, it doesn't matter how many troops you have. I wasn't ready because A, I didn't have my talent points on, and B, I didn't have my gear up and on. And even if I did, I think I would have maybe done more damage to them and taken them down a lot further than what I did. But I jumped up 14 million kills that night without talent gear, without anything, and I did a lot of damage to them. I captured their leader, either one or two leaders that attacked me at first before they eventually got to me and broke me. So it is a really formidable defense, but it just goes to show that it almost doesn't matter how you're set up if you're not doing the right things and being aware of the kingdom around you and who's there and how much damage they could be doing and stuff like that. For example, there's guilds out there that can run a double rally on you. They don't need to get your scout. They'll just show up, and both guilds will just kind of run double rallies on you until they get you zeroed. And they'll blind rally you, not knowing what you got, and just go for it and just crush you. And so I've seen it happen. I've been to lots of different kingdoms at this point after I left 701. I can't even think of all the ones that I've been to, but what I do know is that if you're getting set up, right? So you're a beginning player and you basically want to take yourself from, okay, I can shelter 200,000, let's say, just kind of throwing out a number, 200,000 troops. I can shelter them, and I can go out and I can attack with those, because with 200,000 troops, especially if they're mostly T3, and it sounds like maybe you're headed for T4, which I very strongly recommend if you're going to be a war castle. If you're going to plan out on and going on tax and being, then you definitely want to head for that T4 zone as soon as you can possibly reach it, which is around that 100 million mark. I think is about the earliest that you're going to probably be able to reach it, as far as like what it takes in building the buildings up and then building up the research and getting all that stuff done. By the time you've accomplished that, then you're already near that 100 million mark. And then by the time you actually do the research to open the T4 themselves, you've done, you're probably right near it. But in any case, so T4 is necessary. I think if you're planning to kind of go into the game like that, and you're saying, yeah, I'm loving this game, I'm loving my guild, I enjoy the social aspect, I enjoy XYZ, or I'm just enjoying it right now, who cares about later, whatever it is, right? So you go and you want to be that war castle, and you think you're going to play this for a little while. T4, first of all, I would go after familiars and familiar battles after that personally, but T4 is a must. And you're going to want to get... Now, if you only have T3, do this with T3 instead, but I'm just going to speak toward T4. And until you have T4, replace them with T3. But the amount of troops to get you, especially early on in the game, in your first couple weeks, first month, maybe even a little beyond that, whenever you're unshielded, the first thing you're going to want to do is throw on Anti-Scout. But from there, if you want to keep your shield off, you need to get your troops up past, about a million of each T2, plus you want to have enough of each type of T3 or T4 rather. Again, I'm going to speak toward that. So you want to have 300,000 or at least 250,000 of each type of T4. Now, I also leave out the siege. I leave out siege because the main three that you need to focus on are infantry, range, and cavalry, and that's all you'll ever really hear me talk about. Those guys and your heroes, you get strong enough, you'll start crushing down walls like they're nothing, and you should pretty much be at that point if you've built up a little bit of your gear and you align your talent points correctly, especially if you're sitting open without if you're attacking and you're in fury, or if you're sleeping and you're unbubbled in anti-scout. No matter what, you want to make sure that you have your talent points aligned for the troop type that you are going after. You want to go after about 250,000 infantry, range, and cavalry of T4, and about a minimum of 1.5 million of each of the T2, cavalry, range, and infantry. And you'll want to build up a base. Those T2 are going to get up to probably a good 5 million in the end each. That's when you're going to be in amazing territory. But between now and then, if you want to sit on the turf unshielded, get that anti-scout on, get about 1 to 2 million of each T2, cavalry, range, and infantry, and get enough attacking power that if somebody does come to your turf, you're attacking them heavily and only suffering losses on the T2s. Your T2s there are called a meat wall. If somebody comes to your castle and starts crushing you down, even with rallies, your T2s will get eaten up rather than your T4s. And if you have about 2 million T2 of each type, or 1.5 million of each type, plus the attack power of the T4, you're going to be able to prevent the first probably 2-3 attacks. And what you want is a good system where you're on the line application, or you're on Discord, or whatever it is, where you have a buddy, somebody that you trust, that after you play the game for a while, you'll run into somebody that you trust, and the line application you can put your phone number into, and you don't have to actually give that phone number to anybody. They don't actually see it. I can press the call and it'll call my buddy. I won't see the phone number, but it'll just call him from my phone and from the application, and it'll make it so that I can't see it, what his phone number is, but give him a ring and say, hey, somebody's rallying you. You'll have 5 minutes per rally. When somebody sets up a rally on you, you have 5 minutes, and then that rally will march on you. And so before that 5 minutes is up, let's say you're in Battle Fury. You want to move your castle to the edge of the map, pay diamonds or gems, pay gems if you have to, but move all the way to the corner of the map. And then the second part of that is, most of those guys won't have enough carpets to speed up on you in time to get to you. But if they do, then once you've moved far away, you're going to get probably hit. And immediately when you get hit, random transport somewhere. Don't let them find you and hit you for a second time, depending on how far that Battle Fury goes. You might be in Battle Fury for 15 minutes because you just went into Battle Fury and they set the rally on you right away, and now you're in trouble. Now, for a while, you're going to be able to hide your troops and shelter them like you are now, and you're going to be able to once you get up past the point of sheltering, you can also send the rest of what you get to a rally on a dark nest for 8 hours. Level 6 dark nest, a level 5 dark nest, something that nobody has business joining you in, and they know it's a fake rally because you're running it for 8 hours. And so you hide your troops up to the maximum point that you can, and then you can even hide troops inside of other shielded castles if you can trust those people. Of course, if they take a hit with your 200,000 troops and get zeroed, you're just as likely to lose those troops. Although, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, you have this danger zone, right? But between the time that you're at now, where you're having more than you can shelter, those guys are sometimes going to be in danger unless you're on the money every 8 hours, or unless you shield forever, which I've done a video on. And if you're not sure, I can do a mini video on that. But the bottom line is, you want to shield. What I would personally do is plan on spending every gem that I got for each day on a new shield. A 24-hour shield. That's 1,000 gems per day. Get yourself high in the Coliseum, and buy packs if you have to, or whatever you need to maximize your gem. Open up that last skirmish battle over here on this zone. If you're not open yet, you got the treasure trove, and you can use this 30-day deposit. Yours probably won't be this high because you have to do some research and you have to have a familiar to help you get up this high. But either way, get that going and get your 30 days. Like, I think it's 10,000 every 30 days, and that'll cover 10 of your days. And then the Coliseum should help you if you're ranked high enough. You'll be able to get some gems from that. I'm getting 120 per hour. See, I have 120 there. That happens 8 times per day. That's 800 and something, 960 per day extra gems, and that's enough to cover my shield each day. If you include what I get for the gifts, just randomly when I get gems for gifts, it'll cover that other part for the most part. So in any case, get yourself shielded. The bottom line is, get yourself shielded. Go from 300 up to having 250 of each type: cavalry, infantry, and range of those T4, and then have your 1.5/2 million of each of the T2s. And at that point, you're going to be able to unbubble, sit there with anti-scout on. Definitely want to have plenty of anti-scout. And nobody's going to really mess with you unless they understand what your troop composition is. If they are able to scout you and they see that there's 3 million infantry troop types and you only have like 300,000 of anything else, and you've really stacked yourself heavily on the infantry, even though you've boosted up your gear and your heroes and your familiars, even though you've done all that stuff, they're going to come in with cavalry and go with their own gear and their own familiars and things that weaken your infantry, because now they know what you have, and they're just going to come in and crush you. So that anti-scout becomes vital in making sure that you never expose that troop composition. Number of troops is one thing. The quantity of total troops is one thing. The troop composition is a whole nother. And understanding what that is, when I get a scout on somebody, we'll go after people with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 million troops in there, no problem. Depending on the troop composition, right? I'm not going after 5 million T4 account so as easily as I'm going after a 5 million T2 account. That's super easy, right? But then again, there's all sorts of situations, right? I don't want to hit up a 16 million T2 account even. I mean, it's just hitting a wall, and here's my leader if it's with us. You guys crush us. Thanks. Here's a kill count boost. But that's what I think of this. Getting yourself defensively ready, getting yourself offensively ready. It's just being called rally ready, so to speak. And that means if I send out 250,000 T4 to help my guild in a rally, and somebody sets a rally on me, I'm still okay. And they can send me reinforcements. We'll all share a little bit of the loss, and we'll gain the kills, and my army will still crush them. And that's one of the keys. Make sure you're in a guild that people are able to be in battle with you. If you want to help your guild, make sure you're with a guild that's willing to help each other. And that way, if one of you guys gets rallied, then everybody sends their troops to that particular guy. And then if you're getting rallied while you're reinforcing that guy, then you know they send them to you, and then you send them to someone else, and you guys just support each other, and everybody kind of shares the loss if there is one. And the loss would be minimum, because when everybody kind of takes a hit, you all share the kills, but you also share, like, let's say you lost 300,000, but it was between 3 people. Well, that means each of you lost 100,000 and troops, and so you kind of split that, and then you jump into your infirmary, heal them up real quick, and as long as you have enough beds in your infirmary, I have 426,000 right now. I've built up a bunch of these now that I've got my troops where I want them. Before that, I only had mainers while I was training troops, and so that's something to think about as well. Speed up the way that you train your troops. Go into your bag and look and set up your speed ups. I have a video on this earlier on, but set up your speed ups so that okay, I have 8-hour speed ups, so I'm going to train 8 hours worth of troops and just keep on boom, boom, boom till those speed ups are gone, and then I'll do that with other ones. And again, I do have a video on that. Maybe I'll leave it in my comments sometime if I remember to do that, and if not, you know, feel free to hit me up. But this video is already pretty long. That's a good way to think about setting yourself for offense, defense, and hopefully you got a little something from this. But remember, it's not just how many troops you have. Think about your gear. Be working on that gear. Look on that series of that I just recently did with infantry, cavalry, and range, and going through like what heroes, what familiars, what gear, what research, and how to set up your talent points, how to set up all that kind of stuff. Go through that and take a look through that, because that's the main piece. That's what makes your army actually strong and surprise people that come to your doors. They go, dang, I didn't expect to get beat down like that. Oh yeah, that's because you didn't know I have all gold heroes. That's, you know, I've got all gold heroes with 120,000 or 120% attack boost. Oh, and by the way, I have a familiar that does this, and I have another familiar that does that, and this one weakens you this way. And then, you know, on top of that, I have my talent points. On top of that, I've got my gear, and on the top of that, I've got my jewels, and you're just like, you know. So that's it for this one. Hopefully that helps you out. Hit me up if you have any questions. I will see you guys soon. See ya.